The community in Tucson that unfolded Saturday afternoon at a grocery store. 6 people were killed, and Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords with 14 others were wounded when a gunman opened fire. Last night, more than 100 people paid their respects to the victims by laying flowers at the Safeway where that shooting happened. Supporters also gathered outside the hospital where Giffords is being treated. The 40-year-old Democratic representative is still in critical condition. President Obama called for a national moment of silence this morning at 11. Congress is putting off all legislative activity for the week, and the tragedy has many questioning the angry political rhetoric of the past year. Politico's Molly Ball joins us now from Washington. Molly, good to see you this morning. Good morning.
Good to see you. Good morning.
And we don't want to politicize this, Molly. Right now, we don't know what the motive for the shooting is. So let's talk about what we do know. Authorities recovered items in Jared Loughner's house that suggest he was planning an assassination. The sheriff investigating the case blamed this on a climate of hatred. Take a listen to what he said.
The anger, the hatred, the bigotry that goes on in this country is getting to be outrageous.
Is this a changing moment in political rhetoric?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that it is. Now, there's a whole debate raging about whether it's appropriate to blame this on one side or the other, and you have partisans on both sides, like you say, attempting to politicize it. But I think there's no question it is going to change the tone. You know, you have office holders on both sides saying we have got to be more respectful of one another. We've got to have a discourse in politics that doesn't edge close to this edge of actually calling on people to commit armed insurrection. Not claiming that that's what caused, you know, this man to do what he did. He seems very troubled. But certainly people have been taken aback, and they want to be more respectful from now on.
A lot of people have criticized Sarah Palin in the hours after the shooting. Last year, her website featured this graphic that you see right here with crosshairs targeting Democratic members of Congress, and Gabrielle Giffords was one of them. A Palin spokesperson said that they're not gun sites. Is criticizing Palin taking the blame too far?
Yeah, you know, this seems to be a sort of a knee-jerk liberal reaction to pin this on her. If anything, it is certainly not clear-cut. You know, this guy didn't leave a note saying, I'm doing this for Sarah Palin or the Tea Party, and his ideology, as much as we can even figure it out from the sort of crazed rantings that he left on YouTube and in other places, it doesn't fit a conventional left-right mold. So we can't really say that he belonged to a specific movement. That being said, Sarah Palin did have this graphic on her website, and at the time, Gabrielle Giffords, back last year, had her window smashed after the healthcare vote, and she herself, it's sort of an eerie thing in retrospect, she herself was interviewed and she said, look, there's this graphic on Sarah Palin's website, I think it's dangerous.
At least it's 2 members of Congress. As we talk about security here and members of Congress being safe, they say they plan on carrying weapons with them in their home districts. Others are calling for more security for members of Congress. But Molly, many of them are like us. They walk around freely with no security at all unless they have to. From now on, how are elected officials supposed to interact with their constituents?
Absolutely, it's a big conundrum, and you know this strikes fear in all of their hearts. There are 535 members of Congress. They can't all walk around protected by a huge security detail all the time, and they wouldn't want to. I've spoken to members of Congress who say, in order for this to be a representative democracy, we have to be among the people. We have to be of the people, not only be able to meet constituents at events like the one that Congresswoman Giffords was holding, but to be able to shop at the mall and drive down the street and know what people are going through. So, you know, you do have some members saying that they're going to carry their own firearms. Other members not sure what to do. Should they lock down the Capitol, which of course is not where this took place? I think that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about in Washington as the members of Congress come back and confer with one another this week.
And you said that you've talked to a few members of Congress. Just curious, what do you think this week will be like on Capitol Hill?
Well, it sounds like the plan from Speaker Boehner in the House is for members to receive security briefings. There will be no votes, no roll call votes. The planned vote that they had to vote on the repeal of health care legislation has been pushed back for a week. So there's going to be obviously a lot of talk about this, a lot of this discussion that we're having right now about how the tone of politics may or may not need to change. And a lot of also just logistical considerations about how members can be safe and try and protect themselves.
It will certainly be an ongoing discussion. Molly Ball from Politico, thanks for being with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.